एते वर्णा स्वधर्मे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव
नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं जयमुदीरये
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अष्टप्रायश भद्रेषु
भागवत सेवया
भागवत सेवया
समश्लोके
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण
एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण।
Screen not shared. Screen not shared.
Okay, Namaste. Thank you. एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धया आत्मविशुद्ध्यर्थं यच्चातः सह वृत्तिभिः। एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धया आत्मविशुद्ध्यर्थं यच्चातः सह वृत्तिभिः। एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धया आत्मविशुद्ध्यर्थं यच्चातः सह वृत्तिभिः। एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धया आत्मविशुद्ध्यर्थं यच्चातः सह वृत्तिभिः। एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धया आत्मविशुद्ध्यर्थं यच्चातः सह वृत्तिभिः।
एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यजन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धया आत्मविशुद्ध्यर्थं यज्जाता सवृत्तिभिः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यजन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धयात्मविशुद्धि अर्थं यज्जातः सह वृत्तिभिः। हरे कृष्ण।
एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यजन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धया आत्मविशुद्ध्यर्थं यज्जाता सवृत्तिभिः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
श्रद्धात्मविशुद्धार्थ यज्जाता सवृत्तिभिः।
Time now.
एते वर्णा स्वधर्मेण यजन्ति स्वगुरुं हरिं श्रद्धयात्मा विशुद्ध्यार्थं यज्जाता सह वृत्तिः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Ete, all these varna orders of society, swadharmena, by one's own occupational duties, yajanti, worship, swaguru, with the spiritual master, harim, supreme personality Godhead, shraddhaya, with faith and devotion, atma, self, vishuddhi artham, for purifying, yat, from who, yataha, born, saha, along with vrittibhi, occupational duty. All the different social divisions are born with their occupation, duties, and living conditions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, for the unconditioned life and self-realization, one has to develop the Supreme Lord. One has to worship Supreme Lord under the direction of Spiritual Master. All the different social divisions are born with their occupation duties. All the different social positions with their occupation duties and living conditions from the Supreme Personality Godhead. Thus, for the unconditional life and self-realization, one has to worship the Supreme Lord under the direction of the Spiritual Master. Yes. Since they are born from the... Yes, who wants to read? Hare Krishna, Suprema Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport: since they are born from different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord in his gigantic form, all living entities in all the parts of entire universe are supposed to be eternal servitors of the Supreme Body. Every part of our own body, such as the mouth, hands, thighs, and legs, is meant to render service to the whole. That is their constitutional position. In Subhuman life, the living entities are not conscious of this constitutional position, but in the human form of life, they are supposed to know this through the system of the Varnas, the social orders. As above mentioned, the Brahmana is the spiritual master of all the orders of society, and thus Brahminical culture, culminating in the transcendental service of the Lord, is the basic principle for purifying the soul. In conditioned life, the soul is under the impression that he can become the Lord of the universe, and the last point of this misconception is to think oneself the supreme. The foolish conditioned soul does not take into account that the supreme cannot be conditioned by Maya or illusion. If the supreme were to become conditioned by illusion, where would be his supremacy? In that case, Maya or illusion would be the supreme. Therefore, because the living entities are conditioned, they cannot be supreme. The actual position of the conditioned soul is explained in this verse. All the conditioned souls are impure due to contact with the material energy in three modes of nature. Therefore, it is necessary that they purify themselves under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, who not only is a Brahmana by qualification, but must also be a Vaishnava. The only self-purifying process mentioned herein is to worship the Lord under the recognized method, under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master. That is the natural way of purification, and no other method is recommended as bona fide. The other methods of purification may be helpful to come to this stage of life, but ultimately, one has to come to this last point before he attains actual perfection. Bhagavad Gita 7.19 confirms this truth as follows. Bahunam janmanam ante gnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurabani Pracharine Nirvishesha Yashonavadi Pasha Devakarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ete Varna Sudharmenha. Ete Varna Sudharmenha. Janti sa Guru Harim. Shradaya Atma Vishuddhi Artham. Yajjata Sahavrittipihi. All the different social divisions are born with their occupational duties and living conditions of the Supreme Personality Godhead. Thus, for the unconditioned life and centralization, one has to worship Supreme Lord under the direction of the Supreme Master. So the different modes are like different kind of infection. Sattva is a little infection, Rajagoda is more infection, Tamogoda is different infection. Now, you cannot have the same medicine. Suppose in a hospital, there is one patient comes and the doctor says, outpatient ward, just take medicine and go home. And one patient comes in, admitted in ICU immediately. Or one patient comes in a different. So there are different ways we are dealing with people. We're dealing with people in different ways in a hospital. So then, the question can be, so why the doctor is not equal? So similarly, there are, like in communism, there's a classless society. It's not practical. Even in the communist country today, there are some people who are very rich. There are some people who are the the head of the country. So we already brought two classes. No country can exist without a leader. So how it should be classless, no? Same salary everybody should have. Doesn't make sense. Why will a Vaishya work without money as a proposal? It's not correct. So we cannot expect all the people to be in the same category. They are not. It's like in a hospital. People come with different physical diseases. Similarly, people are there with different mental diseases. So people, because they are in different kind of mental diseases, they have to be dealt differently. Cannot be same. It's a classless is a utopian idea, which actually doesn't exist on earth. People do have, all people are not same. The different tendencies, different. Therefore, a person who is Madhyama, it says spiritually, when somebody begins spiritual life, he doesn't even spiritually understand different natures. But as he becomes serious, he comes to Madhyama platform where he sees the difference. Isharatad adhineshu balisheshu dasheshu cha prema maitri kripa upeksha riha karoti samadhyama. A Madhyamadikari actually sees difference. He sees difference between different kind of people. Ishvara, he sees the Lord. He loves him, prema. Tad adhineshu, he sees the people who are attached to the Lord, his devotee. Maitri, he makes friendship. To the Lord, love. The devotee, friendship. Ishvaratadhineshu, balisheshu, innocent people. He is very merciful. Dvisheshu, he is envious people. He ignores them. So there are four kind of people which exist in this world. Shri Radha Govinda ki. Envious also, we have to be really careful. Somebody trying to actually give you good advice, you can become envious of it because of your pride. But envious, you should understand what is the envy meaning. Envy means he doesn't want your spiritual progress. There was one person and he was giving class and he was making a lot of mistakes. The president went to him and he said, no, you should not make this mistake and wait some time you don't take class. He said, the president is envious of me. He was not envious. He was trying to see that some more reading you do, some more session you take, then you take class. So because I person feels that, I am a great savior of the world and he's my enemy, he's envious of me. Why will he be envious? So people can sometimes take wrong thing as envy by the side. So anyway, Ishvara tadadineshu. So to the Lord we should love. Why there is a difference? Yes, God is different from us. There are devotees, there are envious people, there are innocent people. In this world is seeing different kind of people. They're not God. They're different class. So he's dividing the world into 4 kind of people. The Lord. And even Guru can be put in that category. He just loves them. The devotees, he has friendship with them. And then the innocent people is very compassionate. And there are always some envious people. This ignores. If in case he finds, and actually, when you're small, there are no envious people. Envy comes when you're big. And like when you have something, you don't have anything, nobody will envious of you. But suppose you achieve a big house in the city, big job, then a lot of people are envious. Simply will be angry for no purpose. Because by nature, people are envious. They can't stand. Envy means why that person should have facility. I want to be taken away. That's called envy. I want to harm another person. I want to dispossess another person from whatever God has given. Ishavasha midam sarvam yat kinchit jagatam dega tena taktena bhunjita magrida kasvedhanam. Said, oh, whatever is given by the Lord. Don't try to snatch what other person has. Very nice. So anyway, coming back to the shloka here, so shloka says there are different divisions of society. That is natural. How these divisions occur? Originally, soul is pure, but then the soul has done different kind of activities. Therefore, soul is having different nature. Karmatmakam yena sharira bandhaha. The mind become colored. Karmatmakam by the activities. So different kind of activity that we have done, we are all in different stage of mind. Like, but different kind of atmosphere you have gone, different kind of bacteria, viruses we are having. So everybody, karanam guru sangvasya sadasajjanmayo anishu, by different kind of association that we have taken, different kind of vasanas we have developed in our mind, and different kind of hallucination, imagination we have enjoyment in our mind. Everybody. Therefore, everybody is a different kind of patient. Somebody is sattvic, somebody is rasic, something is tasvic. Okay? Tamasic means difficult situation is very difficult. Now, we do not become angry at somebody just because somebody is very sick. So somebody is very sick, tamasic. It's not angry, it's compassion. So you need different kind of treatment. So somebody is rasic, you need different kind of treatment. Sattvic person, different kind of treatment. So different instruction, different medicines are there. The people who are very tamasic, their engagement also has to be different. The rasic people, tamasic person, what will be the engagement? He just wants to sleep whole day. There is so much, he has been so careless with his activities and his thoughts that his mind is very, very disturbed. That tamasic person. He just, many times feeling so stressed out, just like to sleep. They like to sleep all day. Just like to sleep. They enjoy sleeping. At least 10 to 12 hours a day they sleep. That is tamasic person. A rasic person, on the other hand, will be a different category. Will not get sleep with so much strong desires and enjoyment. So tamasic person, what do you recommend? We recommend him to, he cannot be able to enterprise, develop a business. He cannot do that. He cannot have courage, valor, or heart to give protection to other people. And he cannot have wisdom unless he follows strictly rules and regulations. There is no wisdom. See, there is no wisdom of a Brahmana, there is no courage of a Kshatriya, and there is no enterprising nature like a Vaishya to make money somehow. So he cannot do either of the three. So what do? That's what the modern civilization. Look for a job. Moment you look for a job, immediately you are Shudra. Shudra means working for somebody. Shudra business is paricharyatmikam karma. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. That's what Shudras are doing. And Kali Yuga, the age of the Shudras. What is Kali Yuga? The age of the Shudras. That's what they do. Okay? One has to be Supreme Lord under the direction of the spiritual master. That's all they do. So therefore, if they're different, in fact, if you are practically engaging in it, like in a body, the arms, legs, head are different. So they're differently engaged. A head cannot do work of the leg cannot do work of the arm. No, they're different. Similarly, the different sections of society are given different kind of engagements, and they're very happy with that. A Sattvic man can sit whole day, he live in free, keep reading, he'll study, he will chant, and he will be engaged in teaching. That's the activity of a Sattvic person. A Rasic person cannot sit, he has to run, he has to run here, there. And we are Rasic, Tamasic, therefore we need gross engagements. In fact, Srila Prabhupada did not encourage engagement without any activity. He said, no, that's not possible. There was in Vrindavan, if you go, there is something called Babaji's. They said, no, we are very sattvic, very spiritual. We just sit and chant whole day. Prabhupada said, no, that's not possible. Prabhupada Guru itself objected to this. He said, wrote a book called Vaishnava K. You all can read, try to get that book. Vaishnava K. What kind of Vaishnava are you? It's a poem actually. Externally, you're making show of great meditation. Internally, you're dwelling on sense object. What kind of Vaishnava are you? You're making a hypocrisy of God, samadhi on God, but actually all the time, you're thinking of some sense object. Mithya sa uchyate. You are a hypocrite. Indiyartha vimodatma mithya sa uchyate. All the time, your senses are engaged in sense enjoyment. You are one side, samyamya, you try to control the mind and senses, but all the time the mind is thinking about sense object. He is a hypocrite. So it's not impossible for us to just sit down. We should know Kali Yuga predominantly, all of us are Shudra kind of mentality. So therefore, don't hesitate to get a job. Anyway, you're a Shudra. Okay? Shudra business to take a job. He doesn't have capacity. In fact, I've seen somebody, few days he has his own business, he will not work for any amount of money. He knows the taste of that freedom. Taste of that freedom. Correct? So that is the activity of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, different in the way that their engagements are different. Now you are a very Brahminical person. All thing you want knowledge. We all feel we are Brahmanas, but is it the truth? We want power, we want money, we want to sleep all day. A Rasic and Tamasic person. Anna? Brahmana means he has no mind. You see, you give somebody a Brahminical word, and you see how long he can do it. You say you have to study this, and you have to make notes. Can he study for 10 hours? He's a Brahmana. If he is able to do that, he's a very Brahminical person. Rasic, Tamasic person will not be able to do that. He has to physically run around. Leave him alone, he'll start thinking about beautiful women. He'll start thinking about, okay, you leave somebody free with mobile for half an hour, see what he does. You know, it's Satoguna, Rajoguna. Tamoguna means he look for naked picture of girls. Rajoguna means what the latest movie, or how much money somebody made. He wants to make money or he wants power. And Satoguna means he will be after searching after some knowledge. And Krishna conscious means he'll be looking at Krishna's painting, Krishna's photos, and Krishna is so great. He can know any activity. We can know. For music, Sattvic person likes to listen to generally classical music. A devotee still higher than a Sattvic person likes to listen to prayers to the Lord. Bhajan. A Rasic person, pyar ho gaya. And Tamasic person, you are dead, I am dead, everybody is dead. Some kind of nonsense music. So we can know by food. We can know by how he spends his time. We can know what mode he is in. So that person has to be engaged in that way. We're not saying that he's not a devotee. Some kind of devotee he is. He has to be engaged in some kind of activity to gradually purify. We should open our eyes and see the reality and engage in some kind of. And he'll be very happy, very, very happy in that engagement. So we have to duly place him, recognize whatever he can do. So generally, because we all Kali Yuga come from Tamogoda, generally engagement in the beginning has to be gross. That is how it is advised. So every part of the body should serve the body, should serve the whole. Similarly, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the end of their whatever activity they are doing, Krishna, some Siddhi, Harito, Shana, the Lord should be satisfied. Adavo mentioned the Brahmana is the spiritual master of all orders of society, the Brahminical culture culminating in trans service of the Lord, the basic principle of purifying the soul. Okay? Is the basic principle of purifying. So Brahminical culture is the basic principle of the soul, because Brahmana is actually a symbol of purity in society. You know, a Brahmana is rare today. Brahmana is totally, mind is pure, just wants spiritual knowledge, just wants to serve the Lord with all heart and soul. Very rare. So for general mass of society, the Brahmana becomes an ideal example. Now I cannot be 100% like him, but I want to become like him. We develop a desire. They are the ideal, noble example society of nobility, example society of purity. And our culture is great because we used to produce Brahmanas before. Today we don't produce Brahmanas. Today we just have birth Brahmanas as contaminated, polluted as a normal man, and just want respect because they're born in some Brahman. That people are revolted against that. There's so many places you don't even get jobs at the Brahman because people don't like, they don't want to hear the word itself. Because it is misused. If it is not misused, why people don't like it? It is totally misused. So that is not good. Okay? In the conditioned soul is under impression, he can become Lord. In your last point, think also to the Supreme. Interesting. This is Prabhupada that always take Mayavada to task. Sometimes you may wonder why Prabhupada never loses an opportunity to talk about Mayavada. Because whole society is covered by Mayavada. The most of the spiritual organizations today are teaching Mayavada only. I am God, you are God, everybody is God. What is the nonsense they are teaching? And God also came under Maya, so you also under Maya, therefore you are roaming in this world. How can God come under Maya? Then Maya is supreme, not God. Doesn't make sense, but that's what they say. The foolish construct does not take into supreme cannot be control of Maya, illusion. If the supreme were to be controlled by Maya, then he is not a supreme. Maya will be supreme. Therefore, the living entity is the condition. They cannot answer this question. There's a loophole in the whole Advaita philosophy. They say that we and God are same, and God also, when he came to the world, fell under illusion. Then what is powerful, God or illusion? Illusion. So illusion is supreme. It's a very funny philosophy. So every philosophy, the wrong philosophy, has some big loopholes. The Prabhupada is telling us a very big loophole in that philosophy of Advaita, that I am God are same, and the God similarly, I am also God, but I am under illusion. Now, what kind of God are you? Okay? God doesn't come into nirasta kuhakam. Bhagavad says nirasta kuhakam is totally free from illusion at all the time. The conditions are impurity with contact matter, and therefore necessary to purify. The whole life, the aim is purify. You repeat that every day when you get up. Today my goal is to purify the heart, purify the heart, purify the heart. The only purifying process mentioned here to the worship of the Lord under the recognized method, under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. That is the natural way of purification. And no other method recommended as bona fide. Other method of purification may be helpful to come to the stage of life, but ultimately one has to come to the last point before he attains actual perfection. Okay? Other methods of purification may be helpful. Okay? But ultimately one has to come to this last point to attain the actual perfection. So what is the ultimate end? To surrender to Krishna. Because worship the Lord, that is the thing. So whatever we are engaged, we should worship the Lord. That is not that the best purifying process to worship the Lord. You may have other processes, but what will work is this. Just like people try so many ways for purification. They do prayashita, they try to cultivate knowledge. When Parikshit Maharaj heard from Shukamuni that people suffer so piteously in the Narakaloka, he was very sad. As a gentleman, he was feeling, why? Paradukha Dukhi, the devotee feels pain, see other people are suffering. So my dear Shukamuni, great sage, is there any way people can be saved from going to hell? I see such a terrible punishment. So we should all read the 5th canto, the last chapter, discussion hell. At least some people, only fear works, nothing else works. So you will become a little serious. So when Shukamuni heard about the terrible sufferings and varieties, around 2 dozens of hells are there. Varieties of hells, Kumbhipaka, this, that. I'm forgetting the names. 24 names are also there. So much suffering is there in hell. When he heard that, he said, is there some way people can escape from going to hell? He said, yes, from the suffering they can be saved if they do prayashita. But he said, if they do prayashita, then I see that it's like Kunjara Sauchava. It's like taking bath in a river. After taking bath in a river, the elephant throws dust over him. Kunjara is an elephant. The bathing of an elephant. What's the use? You take bathing, you bath nicely for hours and throw dust on your body after that. So he said, I have done prayashita. So many people are put in the jail and beat them up when they do a crime. They go back to the city after jail term, whatever years, they do the same activity again. I don't see them changing because they don't change their company, they don't change their association. Therefore, when the company is same, then you remain the same kind of person. Actually, you have to change everything. So he said, that doesn't work. I've done it enough time. Then he says, came to cultivate knowledge. And Shukamani himself says, even that will not work. Because that's like trees in the forest. But the trees are cut, looks like problem is over. But the roots are still there. So sometimes by some understanding, by knowledge, we understand certain things I should not do. That's okay. But the moment there is a fertile ground for that, just like the trees are cut in the forest, when the rain falls, again the trees come out. Similarly, you may decide mentally that I'm not going to do certain activity. That's not good for me. But then when there is opportune movement, same activity start again. So that's what Shukamani said, it will not work. Then it gives a spiritual way, which is only mentioned here as only purifying processes, the devotion service under the guidance, worship of the Lord. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayanaha agam dhunvansti kasnena niharamya bhaskaraha. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya. Only a rare person who is engaged in pure devotion service, Vasudeva Parayana, so attached to the Lord, Agam Dhunvansti Kasana, he gives us all kind of sinful activities, Nihara Vibhaskaraha. Okay, so this is very nicely mentioned. Just like a sun, when rises, the first rays of the sun are ready to destroy all the fog and mist. Similarly, the bhakti, the worship of the Lord has not even fully manifested. Even the first rays of bhakti that arisen in the heart, all kind of sinful activities should stop. That's a proof you entered the house of bhakti. Still sinful activities are going on, that you still not got Krishna's grace. The first grace of Krishna, person gives of sinful activities and understands his own body and soul. Prabhupada says that's the first installment of Krishna's mercy. Just like your installment when you have a deposit. Similarly, when you do Krishna consciousness, the first installment comes from Krishna. You stop your sinful activities, and understand your own body or soul. You get some knowledge, jnana vairagya, and you feel very happy. Sign of spiritual progress is jnana vairagya. How much you develop attraction to the Lord and how much detachment from the world. So a person should be able to get peace of mind, and we should come to the conclusion that jnana, that I'm not the body of spirit soul. Okay, so that is cultivating knowledge. So this is how the situation is. And Prabhupada says ultimately, Bahunam Janamanamante Jnanavan Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samatam Sudurlabha. The other purifying process may be helpful, like Prayashita and Jnana, but actually one has to come to the platform of pure devotion service to become perfection life. So this is anyway predicted in Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam Janamanamante Jnanavan Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samatam Sudurlabha. After many, many births, we come to the conclusion, Krishna is everything. Some people take time, some people can take immediately. Probably left to you. Now, after many, many births, if I'm going to come to this conclusion, why not accept the conclusion now? I saved so many births. Suppose I'm following spiritual path, and after many, many births, I surrender to the Lord. Why not surrender now? Why you have to waste so many births? When you have to anyway say Vasudeva Sarvamiti, why don't say now? Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Bol do na, abhi bol do. Itne you have to 100 lives you need for that. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Krishna is everything. But you have to realize that how he is the cause of everything. Whole creation is from him. All mental, physical position, everything is under his control. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Bahunam Janamanamante. Bahu means many, many births. Jnanavan Ma Prabhu, they come and take my shelter. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, they declare Krishna is everything. Krishna's mercy is everything. Samatma Sudullava, such a great soul is very, very rare. So become a great soul, become totally surrendered to Krishna, the life becomes perfect. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any questions? No questions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, Pooja Vrinda Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. See, many people have seen. I have come to already, we Krishna conscious people, we have already come to the conclusion that Vasudevam Sarvam Miti. But other people say that through demigods, first worship demigods, then go to the Supreme Lord. We take direct worship to the Lord. We don't go to the demigods. But there are some people who say, first worship the demigods, then go to the Supreme Lord.
The point is they want to bribe the officials. Bhagavad Gita Krishna is saying, no? Yanti deva vrata devan pitriyanti pitrivataha bhutani yanti bhuteja madhyajana yanti mam. Say, if you want to come to Vaikuntha, come to me. But their objective is not to go to the Vaikuntha. That's why their confusion comes. If they are very clear on the objective, what they want to achieve, then there is, I don't think there's going to be a problem. But they're not clear what they want to achieve. Devi Devatas cannot give you Vaikuntha. Devi Devatas can only help you in material affairs. Correct? Like in a prisoner in a jail, the jailers can only give you extra chapati and one nice bed sheet every day. That's all. They cannot release you from the jail. The order has to come from the court or the government. True? Similarly, unless Krishna, you approach Krishna, you're intelligent. Krishna ye bhaja se bada chatura is very intelligent. Bhagavad Gita Krishna mayye vihitami etan. Anyway, Devata has to come from me and take permission. So why don't you directly? Okay. Yes, Subrata Sahuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sir, I am very happy that I am also the alumni of IIT Bombay. You are also IIT Kanpur. Sir, just I have one question. That in our IIT there is a restriction on by institute that there is no religious instruction will be given, and then there is some. It's in our IIT Powai. So, is there such type of restriction is imposed on IIT Kanpur? And second question that yesterday you are telling about some purchasing of land that in Karnataka farmers are only allowed to purchase the land. And a third important thing is that, sir, I'm very happy about because you can mastery over in English and also Hindi. Because once I used to attend the lecture of your mother, Bimbala Matadi, and once there is there is problem in the laptop, and you are also attending the program. So you are having mastery over that two languages. How can you be so efficient, sir? Being the same alumni, I'm asking you, sir. Just
Anyway, something. Last, okay. The number one you said, yeah, the constitution and article has been made. Therefore, this is very unfortunate. The makers of the constitution, they simply celebrate them. I think legally we cannot even say we will be behind bars, but I don't think they were very wise. They have put an article in the constitution that religion will not taught in education institution. Just imagine. It's an article. Article is a very serious thing. Those who are lawyers will know that. It's an article. Therefore, when in our college, we had something called Bhakti Vedanta Club. We made a club, okay, as an extracurricular activity. It ran for some time. After that, the college removed that club because it was religious. Then one faculty came forward to take it up. So at his home, informally, not formally, used to hold daily classes. And even now it is going on. The club is running since last 26, 27 years. But it was at our time, somehow we convinced the college it's kind of a scientific, spiritual science club, and they agreed. But later the college, and we all became devoted through that club. But later the college removed that club, and now it's one faculty has taken it up, and he's doing a good job. Every day, 25, 30 students go to his place, even for Mangalore. I visited Kanpur as, Silver Jubilee, and I met those students, and it was nice to meet them who are benefited by him. They had brought for me prasadam every day. They used to come.
wow,
and I should tell all my classmates, see, look at them. Their faces are so pure, see, they are doing good activity. That is one part. Second part is that every state in India, now the different detail, has a different rules for farming, every state. Karnataka was till now, till last 2-3 months ago, were not allowing land to be purchased except by a farmer. You have to declare yourself a farmer to purchase a farming land. But 3 months ago, it's changed. It is allowing any individual to purchase land, farmland. You are a farmer or not farmer. But still, it's very vague whether a trust like ISKCON can purchase. Most of the lawyers told me no, still you cannot purchase. So then I told some lawyers to frame a kind of a system, because as I look forward to this, we're all growing old, correct? Not everybody will like to sit in a city, correct? Temples, this not in a city, 2 hours away, but that's no farmland there. So people love that kind of a setting, because all the ISKCON temples have gone to that stage. Just like in Bombay, you are in Bombay, you see Juhu or we have Chapati, both have big farms. They've already made big farms. And people love, even devotees love sometimes to go to the farm. There are various reasons temples need to have farm. Reason number one is that the temple is become economically totally self-reliant, because we need food for Annadana and even for the deities. We need food for the residents. So food is taken care, building is anyway there. So if the food is taken care, we become little independent. We don't have to depend. And in fact, previously people used to donate to the Lord land for that purpose. This is Jagannath Puri. Lord Jagannatha owns acres of land. That is for the Lord's pleasure. Second thing, what happens is that we get organic food. Today, organic food is very expensive. So we want to offer to the Lord the best of food. Second. The third thing is that it is also not all the brahmacharis will remain brahmachari. Many brahmacharis will like to tomorrow become grahastha. 100 out of 100 will not remain brahmachari. It's not easy to keep the mind away from sex, correct? Because it's all conditioning. They like to be married because they cannot just remain like this. So now those who become grahastha, where they will go? And the maintenance by the temple becomes difficult, correct? Because married life has a lot of expense. People are giving to money temple for the Lord worship, not to maintain big families, correct? Then how will they maintain? Then they have to work outside. Poor fellows, they have to work in all the same world where they left everything and came, correct? So a farm helps them, because the farm is there, the children can work in the farm, easy maintenance. In fact, a family in a village likes to have many children, because more free labor, more the sons they run around. The city, you don't like more children, because the education is very expensive. And once the farm is there, they have a livelihood. Now, another thing, what about the children of the families? Now, not only us, our congregation, they want the children to be trained in a Vedic setting. Suppose somebody wants, not everybody, some person wants. Where is the place? So we need a Gurukul. So in the farm, Gurukul is not in the city. It should be in the farm, away. Children should not even know what is sin. They should not even know what it is. Not have seen a bottle of cigarette, or not have seen a bottle of liquor or a cigarette in life. Pure setting training for 25 years. Then what comes out is a diamond for the society. So we need Gurukul for teaching nice values in a pure setting. He only plays with the cows and calves in his life, participate in agriculture, all very purifying activity, and trained into Vedic wisdom. And he can be a great asset for the society. So these all things can be accomplished with the farm. So most of the temples go. What has happened to us is that we have exploded in a number of well-wishers in just 1 year time. To have these many well-wishers in the city of Mangalore, I would have taken maybe 40, 50 years. To have 5 lakh people contact itself, that's the population of Mangalore. I contacted 5 lakh people through this course now. That is the population of Bangalore. And in Bangalore, 50% people in Bangalore are not, following Sanatana Dharma. They are Christians and Muslims. And they will not, mostly will not encourage us. Remain some. And on that, half are attached to their own customs and, their own caste. They don't listen to us. They follow their own system. So here, and these people are all well-wishers. And among them, thousands are into level 2, level 3, level 4 courses. So with this kind of thing, I was thinking we can go a little fast track. You don't have to really wait. And it needs some people like you as good managers of that place. You have to manage very well, because there is some management needed. And it can be, and a lawyer needed to see the deeds are done well. It can be magic. It can be manifest in days. It can be manifest. I tell you, within the say thousands of people who are with us today who are Chinese 16 now, 100 people will be ready to live in a farm community at one part of their life? Definitely. Is there possible you have a land near a river which is very cheap? Definitely, because lands near rivers and all, nobody wants to go there. And fertile land, this place is very fertile, no shortage of rain. Definitely. Okay, two things are done. Then is it now possible to just organize that? Yes. If it is very cost effective, a simple houses like cottages, and we at least we come on a weekend there, we stay there, correct? And some people stay in the farm continuously. So we can have some areas where people just come and stay for some time. We can have some areas where people just stay, they sit down, they settle down there with their family, and they all they can do they can go in the Gurukul, they can teach and do some agriculture. Agriculture is great fun actually. Many people have that experience. It's a great happiness to with the cow and goose roam around. No, because how many people like that? I think all the rich people in the old age want to go to a countryside, have their county, they have their bungalow. What we are living there? What a great! Just like we are reading in the early day, every day morning in the morning. Swayambhuva Manu, he came to offer his daughter to Kardama Muni. He was a sage. He was a poor person, but seeing the purity of that thing living in the bank of the river with the clean hermitage, he was really impressed. So not only the bungalow impresses people, also a setting near a river, because water should not be an issue. So near a river, because agriculture cows both need water, a lot of water, and we can demonstrate to society. Actually, Prabhupada said that let people live a life without anxiety. Now, what I'm in a city, there is, if you're a man in a city, so much anxiety. Will my child pass IIT or not? So much anxiety and so much anxiety. It's not easy. But imagine there's no anxiety. See, food is there. Okay, food is, and we go to city. We go to city for pleasure, for teaching, for having some kirtana. We live in a pure air, pure water, pure food. It's good for health also. And no corona, definitely. All this, we are not bothered because it will not reach there. You see, it's a locked community. Prabhupada has thought a lot about it. And in fact, he said you may have to keep some licensed arms also, because he said the economy may collapse any time in any part of the world. That has happened many times. Okay, even India and government, I don't know how they're managing. 2 years, country is locked up. The economy, actually, they're not telling. Will be mess inside. There's no revenue, for 2 years. How long it can go on? And this was a small disturbance. Suppose we had a dangerous virus. This is only 2%. There are some viruses which are 30%. Death, correct? Suppose those kind of viruses spread like this, there will be disaster in the country. Economy will collapse definitely. No jobs, nothing available. But you have nothing to do with the economy. Your food is there. You're growing food. Many people, my colleagues who are in farm communities today, they said, whole ISKCON got a lesson actually. Actually, as ISKCON as a movement got a lesson after the corona. There is no utility, tell me, for last 2 years to be in the city and pay expensive rent. There is no utility. I could have done this work sitting in the farm. Because city you stay because people will interact. You cannot go out. Everybody is sitting in the mask and hiding. Correct? So they say, and Krishna's grace, I was maintained because of this course. Many temples, their finances are in trouble. Because there is no temple is locked. There is no visitors. There is no dakshina. How do they pay for the expenses? It's very difficult. Just try to understand. So my colleagues, I feel really difficult. They communicate with me. They're in great difficulty. How do they maintain? They have very big establishment. Monthly expenses are in lakhs. Your electricity bill, you have to maintain clean and all. Security, so much they are paying. And zero. Many of the temples I see on the top, first pay they return. Help. They're in disaster. Correct? So this shows that we should be self-reliant. See, tomorrow there is a war. The city is a very artificial life. Everything comes there. Agriculture, food comes there. This comes there. This comes there. Any disturbance in the cities become hell to live. Villages are always very fast. So I think that alternative should be there. Not everybody will like to shift to near a temple. But here, a farm community takes care even of economic necessity of somebody. So suppose somebody says, sir, I like to come to Mangalore with his family. Okay? But then he'll be worried what job he will get in Mangalore. But a farm community, it has every kind of engagement. Once the community develops, there is engagement even of protection, engagement of management, engagement of a big community means it has everything. And there is enough engagement. So I think it will manifest very fast, not delayed. It will manifest. Thank you, sir, brother ji,
Thank you,
Sahuji.
sir. Thank you.
So
sir.
do
Thank
visit
you.
Mangalore, is very near to Bombay. Take care. Hare Krishna.
Yes, sir. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Aishwarya Mataji, you want to announce about your competition?
No, Prabhuji, you were telling about the 4 things which a Madhyama Adhikari does. Can you please elaborate on that?
See what happens, and my realizations on this. When I joined the temple, what happened? One boy came and, oh, we are so wonderful. And the day you join, anywhere you go, you are very insecure and all. And he just patted my back a few times and encouraged me. And I told my colleague who had joined with me same day, he's the pure devotee. He's the Mahabhagavata. So that's how we are in the beginning. Somebody flatters you, pampers you. Oh, he's a pure devotee. Correct? Gives you some affection, love. But actually, a neo-Kanishta Adhikari should not judge. And the Uttama Adhikari does not judge. Judgment is for Uttama Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikari should not judge, because unless you know something about devotion, how will you judge somebody? You'll make a mistake. Correct? Uttama Adhikari, he cannot judge because he's in trance. He feels he's in a very unique situation in trance. Don't even imagine what it is. He feels he's the only non-devotee. Whole world is a devotee. Everybody is obeying Krishna except him. He feels like that. Everything is going by the will of Krishna, except him, who is not obeying the law. He is in a trance. He's in a very difficult. He cannot discriminate. And Kanishta should not discriminate. Madhyama is actually practically seeing the world, just like a doctor. Now, if you are in a hospital and you don't know anything, don't discriminate who is sick, not sick, because you don't know anything. Just be silent. When you are a doctor, practically acting, you have to determine. You are a doctor. Aishwarya Mataji is a big doctor. You determine who is sick, you're not sick, you're giving medicine according to that. But there may be a person with a trance condition. Only I am not who is not healthy. Rest everybody is wonderful. That's in a very unique position. We cannot even dream about that. It says, Prabhupada says, even an Uttamadhikari position, when he wants to preach, he comes to Madhyamadhikari because he has to discriminate. Uttamadhikari lives in like love of Krishna in trance. He cannot discriminate. He isn't like so Krishna Prema is flowing in some another. He's not part of this world. Because he's not part of the world, it's difficult for him to preach in the world. Because you have to preach in the world, you have to see the difference. Oh, he is actually envious. He cannot see that. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he cannot understand why people, we should wish well-wisher for everybody. He cannot see enemy at all. He only sees friends. But pure devotee, when a practical preacher sees this person is creating difficulty for us, what we should do. Okay? And what he does, he ignores. And this person is innocent. Let me teach him Krishna consciousness. And this person is a devotee. Let me make friends with him. He naturally feels friendship because he loves Krishna. He loves all the devotees naturally. He doesn't feel envious of devotees. He loves the devotees and the Lord he loves. So this we have heard Mataji. Madhyamadhikari is the Ishvara. This is a famous shloka. Ishvara dada dineshu balisheshu disheshu cha prema maitri kripa upeksha ya karoti samatyamaha. Any more point on this, Mataji? Hare Krishna, Adesh. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Adesh. One, two, three, four, five. Some problem. It's not switching on. Okay. I'll make it switch it on for everybody now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please keep chanting.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Wonderful devotee. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa siddhave bhakta